My heart's breaking right now. This is absolutely egregious. What our infrastructure here is absolutely crumbling, as we've heard today. And who is holding the bag at the end? The Miami Beach taxpayer, with increased levies, fees on water and sewer, and we're really just at our limit already, you know? We can't keep going in this direction.
This is a disgusting crisis. I don't feel confident in this plan or this team. The public works director resigned.
I echo the sentiment of Omar and Larry. This is disgusting. I mean, absolutely disgusting.
This is about infrastructure, but it's also about public health, about environmental safety, and our responsibility to safeguard our vulnerable waterways.
Well, the University of Miami report highlighted that the storm water was the biggest influence, so it picks up all of these sources.
The problem is if we don't maintain the area right, all that makes it into the stormwater system, and then makes its way into the waterway.
What they noted over the past couple of years is Park View Island itself wasn't the biggest source of items entering the canal system. Everything else was coming from the 81-acre catchment area to the east of the canal and draining towards.
Where are we with our lining of the infrastructure of Biscayne Beach Elementary?
Patricia Rendon, Regulatory Compliance Manager. While we were doing the dye test and the CCTV of their lateral, we discovered that there was a lateral number 2 that was directly under it and kind of hiding. We don't know, we don't have records of if that is still, of how, where that lateral comes from. It's very hard to CCTV because it was very compromised as we were going in through the right-of-way. There was a lot of debris, so we couldn't follow.
So it's compromised.
It is.
The issue is the infrastructure is compromised.
Yes,
It's not in the conditions it should be in.
No,
I mean, what you're telling me sounds serious.
Huh?
What you're telling me sounds serious.
Well, it's just because we don't know where it is. That other one, we don't know where it's coming from. You know, if it's still live or not. So
Mr. Manager, I need this to be addressed.
I will personally be involved in making sure that we're addressing this issue with Biscayne Elementary. I apologize. I thought it was further advanced. So I will be involved in this.
Well, this is why I need a weekly, I'm not happy right now. We created Operation Clean Water, and the communications part of it is wonderful. This is the most serious part of Operation Clean Water, making sure that we address the source of this pollutant. And so I'm not very satisfied with the answer I'm getting right now.
A couple of years ago, where we know we've got some very significant hotspots, and we need to be moving heaven and earth and rattling cages to get it fixed, because it is unconscionable.
I'm not sensing the urgency, and that is frustrating me incredibly right now, because we created Operation Clean Water to create the urgency in the city administration that we want to restore the water quality in the Park View Island Canal. And right now, it's not environmental sustainability's fault, because you guys are doing absolutely everything. But when it comes to addressing the issue of the hotspot that we know that exists at this school, where we have said we do not care, it's not our jurisdiction, it's not our property, but we're willing to go in and address it because it is our water quality that's being affected, it's our families that are being affected. We want to prioritize it. I'm sorry, I am not feeling the urgency, and it's bothering me.
So you've Public Works, Rodney, you guys found a lateral that was just unaccounted for?
That's correct.
You said it's compromised or damaged.
Yeah, the material that the school uses, that is in their specs, is cast iron. It's very old. In this area, it's horrible, with the, right next to the ocean. So they are compromised. A sewer lateral.
Okay.
sewer lateral.
Yes. So-
Not stormwater, sewer lateral coming out of the
So-
school.
Just so everyone's listening knows what we're talking about, this is the field behind Biscayne Beach Elementary, which is literally adjacent to Crab Alley, to the Tatum Waterway, to the canal around Park View
Right
Island.
next to the water.
It literally, it's feet away.
I do not know how there's not a fire alarm.
Yeah, can
The
I?
urgency of a fire alarm going off with this.
because it's still gonna, if it's compromised, it's still seeping.
You have a camera that you can go through and,
We tried, but it was compromised, so we couldn't keep going.
okay, so you're telling me that it's just collapsed and you can't
At
put
one
it?
point, yeah, it's full of debris, so it might be pushing debris from the other side. It's not, we couldn't further.
Rodney, what's the,
We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to push this off on anybody else. You're hearing it from me right now. Public Works is going to put our weight behind this. And you're absolutely right. If we're finding an issue here that we can be more proactive on,
yeah, because
we're going to increase the way that and change the way that we're communicating, because all of you should be aware of what the current
because
status is.
I'm
of the
hoping this is the issue, right? I'm hoping this one thing is what's causing the Park View Canal, just because I don't really buy the fact that there's just a bunch of bird poop, because there's birds everywhere in Miami Beach, and we don't have this problem everywhere in Miami Beach. There's birds pooping all the time. Not more in Park View than it is in South Beach, but I have a feeling that this could be the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm a little surprised that I wasn't really, like the chair said, there should have been an alarm gone off. I didn't hear an alarm, and this is the first time I'm hearing about it. But let's.
And this is our initiative. I mean, we created this to find solutions, and the school board is a political body. If they're not moving fast enough, if they're not answering, we need to know. We need to know so that we can. If I need to call the chair of the school system again, I will. If we need to call our school board member, we will. But this is priority. It's such a big priority. It's the reason why we created this Operation Clean Water. It was to create a sense of urgency. And urgency is not waiting for bureaucracy, for procurement, for a new contractor. It is like the emergency is to go in and get it done, because this is a matter of public health. It is a matter of public health. We need to restore this water quality level. We need urgent intervention by the school system. And if they're not doing it and they're not responding timely enough to you guys, then we as the elected leadership need to be told so that we can mobilize our political resources to get it done.
Not only did we, create this and prioritize it, but it's also funded. Like, there's money that's been allocated to be spent to do all these things. In addition, obviously, public safety is the most important thing, not just for our residents, but then the people who live directly adjacent. But we have a ton of tourists who paddle and kayak all over the place. Do it. And now, in addition to tourists, we've got national headlines. One of the most polluted beaches is in Miami Beach. The last thing we need is to say, oh, yeah, except, come back to Miami Beach, but don't go swimming because the water's toxic.
You're the director. You are the director. I need to know from you.
All right. What I'm going to do is I need to regroup internally with team to find out who the points of contact are in the school system, and just put it in right on their desk and ask for some action and demand it. And like you said, if I can't get a clear outline as to where they're going to, or what the plan of action is, then wherever we're legally allowed to intervene, we're going to go ahead and go and pull the trigger on that.
This committee needs to get weekly reports, and I am not creating an Operation Clean Water to be embarrassed at the end of it. We need to restore the water quality, and it is an embarrassment to us as elected officials that our community has elevated levels of enteral cocci in this waterway, and that for years people haven't been able to touch this water, and that here we are trying to make a dent on it, and that there's these issues that we can't get a solution to.
Clearly, none of us sitting up here, none of us are happy. Coming back in August with weekly, or in September with weekly updates is not, I want to get them starting immediately and without
And I have to say, I'm very concerned with the change of leadership in the Public Works Department.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about that. Departments need stability, and having a change of leadership right now in the Public Works Department in the middle of our operation, that is the number one thing, water quality. To me, it's very disappointing that we are in this point right now in this department.
Yeah.
If the city manager is watching.
All right,
I would echo that.
Omar, yes.
So good afternoon again. This is actually the item that I've been here for. I try and be as collaborative as possible. For the last 5 years, I've been working really, really hard at this item. And my heart's breaking right now. This is absolutely egregious to be in this situation. First, I want to thank Dr. Solo Gabriel and her team at the University of Miami for this urgent and sobering Phase 2 report. The findings are more than alarming. The Park View Canal remains severely toxic, with enterococci levels, especially near Biscayne Beach Elementary, reaching 240,000 mpn per 100 milliliters. That's 3,428 times over the safe limit for recreation. This isn't just one of the most polluted waterways in Miami Beach, it's literally one of the most polluted waterways in the entire country. And it hasn't been for the first time either. We were named one of the dirtiest beaches in America 2 or 3 years ago. So this has been ongoing for the last 5 years. And as you correctly said, Ms. Batt, this is a national embarrassment for our resort city. It's a local public health crisis. Over the past 8 years, I've personally suffered 5 serious skin infections linked to the exposure in this canal. And I really have to ask at this point, how many others, children, neighbors, visitors, how many have suffered in silence without knowing the cause? This city made commendable infrastructure upgrades on Parkview, and that's why we're seeing an improvement there. But the data proves that this has not been enough. We really need to act to address this hotspot at Biscayne Beach Elementary that is so much worse than the original Parkview kayak launch. There's so much that I have to say here, but I think it's really all being said. And one of the other main things that I'm here to say today is that meanwhile, our city's outdated infrastructure is also being used to carry sewage from Bay Harbor Islands, Bal Harbor, Surfside, and soon to be Indian Creek Island. And we receive zero compensation for it. While our infrastructure here is absolutely crumbling, as we've heard today. And who is holding the bag at the end? The Miami Beach taxpayer, with increased levies, fees on water and sewer, and we're really just at our limit already, you know? We can't keep going. So I'm really grateful that, you know, you guys went all in on it today, and I'm really hoping that this is not just during this meeting, but that we will get some action before the kids go back to school, because I have the teachers from Biscayne Beach Elementary reaching out to me. One of the teachers, Ms. Garcia, was at the 4th of July party that I attended on Park View Island, and she pleaded with me. She said, please, it's in the groundwater. How do we know that the kids aren't getting sick from it now when they go back to school? Please, guys, let's really work on this. I know that we can do it.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you so much. Larry Schaefer, welcome. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Larry Schaefer, 233 81st Street. This is a disgusting crisis. I don't feel confident in this plan or this team. The public works director may be smart to do so to leave us with this problem. I actually think that the underground sewer pipes are leaking into the storm pipes that all have holes. So it's an underground problem. It's a problem with the Biscayne aquifer. It's not just, you can't just go street sweeping and picking up bags of poop to solve this. You're working on the surface. The problem might be underground. Public Works just found a lateral after all these years, all this money spent. The school is leaking crap and it's our problem. That's the school's problem. Shouldn't Mr. City Attorney file a legal claim right now? And why are we giving millions in NBCRA money to build this school a playground while they poop on us? And look at the test results for the 72nd Street garage. Are there broken sewer or storm pipes under that location? Are we ever going to be able to build there? PVI just catches the problem. The problem is throughout North Beach. The highly paid employees When are we going to see measurable results, like differences in the level of enterococcus? Would you bet your job on this plan? If in 6 months we didn't get better, do you think you still deserve that job? And the politicians on the dais, how important is this to you? We're drowning in poop water. We thought it was just PVI. Now we know it's all throughout North Beach. Have you told the property owners in this area? Are their dogs drinking polluted water out of the puddles? Tomorrow during the budget meeting, you'll tell us what's important to you. You'll either vote for money to clean up this poop mess, or you'll vote for new administrative assistants for all the departments. You'll either vote for discretionary grants to nonprofits, or you could fix our problem all around us. If this doesn't get fixed, why don't we bring in county, state, and federal environmental groups, assets, resources, ask these politicians to help us, and say we can't do it on our own? I have had 2 ear infections from swimming in polluted ocean waters as well. I've been personally damaged by this. Please fix it.
Thank you, Larry. I see we have Sharon with her hand raised. Sharon, welcome. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Hi, Sharon Weiss, 233 81st Street. I echo the sentiment of Omar and Larry. This is disgusting. I mean, absolutely disgusting. Not only is it our waterways, it's the groundwater that's coming up. People walk around in flip-flops all the time. They walk through puddles. What kind of bacteria and gross things are being absorbed? I mean, this is all we have is the water. It's Miami Beach. Like, if we didn't have the beach, you might as well just live in Miami. You know, the budget is coming up tomorrow. There's a budget meeting. You're redoing the budget. There seems to be plenty of money for whatever the police want. If nobody comes here, we don't need so many police, because nobody's going to want to come here to swim in our oceans because they're polluted, and no one's going to want to live here. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting. I am disgusted. We have money for everything except the boring stuff, which is actually the important stuff, because like Omar, like Larry, I have gotten sick from swimming in the water with nothing posted, nothing saying, don't touch the water. By the way, do you know if you go on Google Maps, somebody has replaced the name of Park View Island. They've renamed it Enterococcus Island. It's not funny. This is serious, guys. And you know what? Everyone in North Beach, everyone in Miami Beach should file a VAB hearing and ask to have their property taxes drastically reduced, because we're living in a sewage pit. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll bring back this item in September. But I won't hesitate to call for a special meeting of this committee if it is necessary.
I was just about to say, I don't think this should wait till September. I think we should have a report back in 2 weeks just after the commission meeting, and possibly call a special commission meeting and have a plan of action, because, and they're right. We give a bunch of money for a lot of good causes, but when it comes to the boring stuff, it's not as exciting. But on the 11th, we have a decision to make on how we're going to move. Spend a lot of monies that we have. I think one comes to mind, and I've always been pretty consistent on this, like those Deauville fines. I think the best use of those funds should be for this particular project. And it's something that everyone is going to be able to benefit from, especially in North Beach. So I would welcome a special meeting.
Yep.
So at the right time, if it's necessary, I'll be happy to ask the mayor for a special meeting. And in the meantime, I hope it's clear the urgency and the updates that we want, and we're not getting them. I'll call for a meeting of this committee. We'll ask for a special meeting of the commission, but it has to be clear. The commission passed this unanimously, and the expectation was for there to be action. Thank you.